Hey YouTube, this is the Blackhawk Tatang. It is a double-edged, kind of a military combat knife, I would call it. The blade length, right, if you measure from the top of the handle scale, it's 8.6 inches. But if you measure from the beginning of the edge to the tip, it's 7 inches. Right, but it's a substantial knife. And also, notice how wide it is. Imagine the wound channel something like this would create. Hopefully, never have to do that. But that is what it was designed to do. This was designed by Michael Janich. He's very famous. He's taught multiple law enforcement agencies about edged weapon combat. He's been a paid designer and representative for both Blackhawk and Spyderco. He designed the Be Warned, he designed the Yojimbo. He's qualified in multiple different schools of blade arts and several Filipino martial arts schools. So needless to say, he knew what he was doing. Tatang itself it's a Filipino word. Now, Filipino language is Tagalog. I am half Filipino. I am not fluent in Tagalog, but I do know a lot of swear words in Tagalog, growing up with a mom who spoke that language. So, but I'm not going to say the swear words here. But yeah, that's the origin of this blade. It's not something that just somebody made up to look cool. It actually has a lot of history and was designed by a very qualified guy. Alright, now having said that, this knife also appears, I am told, in one of the most popular computer games in all the history of gaming. Alright, now I'm not a gamer myself, but I have many subscribers who are. Alright, so that's cool. If you're wondering if this can exterminate an enemy just like it does in the game, I would have to say it definitely could. The blade steel on this is 1085 high carbon steel, and the handle scales are basically thermoplast rubber. Alright, and here's a size comparison with the K-Bar Zombie Killer Tanto, known as a large knife in itself. So you can see the Blackhawk Tatang is even a little bit longer in blade length, and it is a lot wider than even this large K-Bar ZK knife. The Tatang is about 1.5 inches longer than your standard USMC K-Bar fighting knife, okay? So it's a very large knife. It's meant to, obviously, it has thrusting ability. It's very pointed, but it was also designed so that it would have significant chopping power for a knife. When we think of chopping, we think of axes, we think of tomahawks, we think of machetes, but this is actually a knife that's long enough and balanced to give good chopping power for being a knife. It is a little bit blade heavy. That is intentional. All right, here's a close-up of the knife itself. You see the pistol grip shaped handle. Obviously, it's to, give you better purchase and allow you, that part, it's basically a pinky ramp, allows you to pull out. It is full tang, a very strong construction. They have texture all up here, right? So you can choke up like this on the choil. This is an integral sub hilt, right? That's what it's called. You can choke up like this, right? This grip, this texture here, it allows you to apply more leverage in certain cuts, right? Or you can choke down as far as you can. If you were going to do a chop, obviously you'd want to choke down for more chopping power. All right, and you can see the lanyard hole there, and note the shape of this can even be used as an impact surface. They even have texture here if you wanted to use this in a reverse grip. They have texture here, and obviously that's for the power slash that way. This knife has a lot of tricks up its sleeve, let's just say that. All right, and here you see, the blade, you can see the profile of that. The back swedge goes about halfway down the length of the blade or more, and it is sharpened, so this does count as double-edged. All right, so make sure that's within your local laws, but you know, I think this is mainly for soldiers, but altogether it looks well thought out. You see how it chokes in and then there's a palm swell that way. All right, again, just to give you better grip. These have a skate tape texture. And again, you know, it seems well designed, give you a lot of options. Choke up, you know, close cutting. You can choke like this or choke down. All right, so, and obviously that profile, it almost reminds me of a Roman gladius. You know, it just seems designed for maximum damage. Here is the sheath that the knife comes with. You can see there are eyelets all around there if you wanted to lash this to a pack, or if you wanted to lash it to your thigh. Belt loop right here. There is a horizontal retaining strap with a button closure. It does hold it in, and it is silent. It's a very minimal sheath. You know, it's not the best, but it's not bad. It's what I like about it is that it's lightweight. There's not all kind of extra crap hanging off it. All right, sometimes you get a sheath and it's just such a bulky monstrosity. I like that it's simple. Obviously, you could customize it further if you wanted to. Deployment, easy. All right, so that's the sheath that it comes with. All right, so bottom line on this knife, you know, is this knife all for show? Is it just something that was in a computer game? Surprisingly, no. It actually, as I said, it actually was designed by a guy who has, he's just very well known in the knife world, impeccable credentials. And as far as the physical damage that this could do, thrusting, chopping, close cutting, back cutting, draw cutting, smashing with the extended tang. Yeah, this knife can pretty much do it all. Would I recommend it? You know, that really depends what size of blade you need. If you need something that's like 1.5 inches longer than your standard K-bar fighting knife, maybe you're just a really tall guy or something like that, this would be good for you. If you need something much smaller, let's say you're a vehicle crewman, well, obviously get a smaller knife. The price is pretty reasonable for what you get. It's less than $100. And unlike most Blackhawks, which are AUS-8, this is actually it's actually a high carbon steel. And I have actually seen testing videos where people actually just used this as an outdoor camp and survival knife. Now obviously it's not really designed for that. It's a pretty nice blade. I think this is one of Blackhawk's best blades. And yeah, you know, within all those considerations that I mentioned, you know, it is double-edged, it's mostly for fighting. If you need that, sure, I would recommend it, and I would also recommend, you know, acquiring some proper training, at least some basic stuff to go with it. Hope you enjoyed this review. Stay tuned for many more. I'm out.